Hey, what is up, guys? You're watching Epic Pokemon TCG, and in this video, guys, I decided to do a deck profile over a fun deck I've been messing around with. Taking a small break from the gaming videos to bring you guys some Pokemon content. Now, this deck is about as fun as you can get. Just a wacky idea I came up with randomly, and is going to feature one of the new cards from Crimson Invasion. That is going to be Alolan Exeggutor. It has 220 HP and has the attack Tropical Head, which I laughed very hard when I heard that. And what this attack does, it does 20 damage times the amount of energy attached to this Pokemon to one of your opponent's Pokemon. So basically, if you have 3 energy on it, you're going to be doing 60 damage to one of your opponent's Pokemon. And then it has Dragon Hammer for 4 energy. May seem like a lot, but it does 120. And then your opponent's active Pokemon is now confused, and its GX attack also takes 4 energy. And it's called Tower Go Around GX for 180. And then you can move any number of energy from your Pokemon to your other Pokemon in any way you'd like. So that's pretty cool. You get to do the GX attack, and basically from there you just kind of get to move your energy around and have some fun with that. So the card doesn't seem that well, but I decided to pair it up with the new Venusaur from Shining Legends, I believe. I didn't really look too much into Shining Legends. The set just really didn't appeal to me too much. But I did see this Venusaur getting paired up with some type of Genesect, and then I just kind of got the idea from there. But Venusaur does have Jungle Totem. Each basic grass energy attached to your Pokemon provides 2 grass energy. And this does not stack, unfortunately, but nonetheless, if you have a Venusaur out, 1 grass is going to equal 2. And I'm going to kind of get to the strategy here. So basically, if you have 2 grass energy, that is going to equal 4 grass energy, so you can use your Dragon Hammer for 120 and your Tower Go Around. But really, what the strategy is going to be all focused for is going to be Tropical Head. So basically, if you have 2 grass and a DCE, just to give you guys an example, that means you're going to get 2 grass energy per grass, and then you get the DCE. So you're basically going to be able to hit any Pokemon on your opponent's side of the field for a decent amount of damage. So basically, let's say you've got a grass DCE that is going to be 120, I believe. So that's not too bad there. So yeah, just a fun little deck idea. And I decided to pair it up with some other stuff. We got Tapu Koko here just for the free retreat. And on top of that, Tapu Koko does have Flying Flip. So you get to do 20 damage to each of your opponent's Pokemon, kind of soften them up. And then we have Necrozma here. Necrozma is actually a last-minute addition to this deck that I decided to add in, mostly for the Black Ray GX. I just decided to throw this in here for that attack specifically because it does 100 damage to each of your opponent's Pokemon GX and Pokemon EX. So that means all those Pokemon sitting on your side of, or your opponent's side of the field that are Pokemon GX and EX are going to be massively damaged. And then you can kind of just use Alolan Exeggutor to just basically start picking off stuff. Now, of course, this does kind of counteract with the fact you have Tower Go Around, but still, nonetheless, I thought Necrozma would be a very nice addition to it. We're also going to be playing Espeon EX. There might actually be something from Shining Legends that would be really nice to add in here, but like I said, guys, I didn't look too much into Shining Legends. I saw some of the cards, and I was like, didn't really pay attention to it. But Espeon EX is a card that has risen in popularity as of late. It has the attack Miraculous Shine. And what that is going to do is devolve each of your opponent's evolved Pokemon and put the highest stage evolution card in their hands. So if you're sitting there hitting Pokemon for 120, 120, and with how popular evolutions have gotten as of late, this is actually not too bad of a card to add into this deck. You got things like Zoroark GX, you got things like Golisopod, you've got Garbodor, you've got all kinds of stuff running around that is an evolution Pokemon. Decidueye is making a return. So yeah, you got a lot of stuff that you can devolve, and I just figured Espeon would just kind of make sense here. Also, of course, we do have the 3 Tapu Lele for the Wonder Tag. When you play this Pokemon freehand onto your bench, you may search for a supporter card. Guys, this is a staple nowadays. And then, of course, you can use Energy Drive with this. Actually has pretty good synergy with Venusaur because you can just start throwing energy down, and it's pretty good. But we're going to be running a thick line of Alolan Exeggutor and a 2-1-2 line of Venusaur. I've been kind of going back and forth. At one point, I was running a 3-2-3 Venusaur, and I was just kind of switching numbers around and just trying to get it to where I felt comfortable with it. And this is what I end up with. It's not too bad. I mean, it's a fun deck. I mean, you really can't expect too much out of it, but I have been winning some matches here on Pokemon TCG Online against some of the newer decks. I think probably the best performance this deck has had was against a Zoroark Gourgeist deck. I think that's the Pokemon. But yeah, it's fun. I mean, once you get the deck going and it starts like playing around, you'd be surprised. That and Alolan Exeggutor has 220 HP and it's weak to Fairy. Gardevoir is a pain in the ass to play with this deck, but you know, hey, what can you do? I mean, it's a winnable matchup, don't get me wrong, but it's a pain. But yeah, that is going to do it for the Pokemon, and I'm going to get into the supporters and such here in a second. Alrighty guys, for the supporters, pretty standard. We have the 4 Sycamore, 4 N, 3 Guzma, 1 Bridget lineup. And then we actually added an Acerola in here. I decided to just throw this in here because I like the idea of it if you're stacking a bunch of like energy on one Pokemon. Alolan Exeggutor can actually take a hit or two because it has 220 HP. And I just felt really comfortable having Acerola in here. I don't know why, it's just a personal decision. I made this deck very kind of like odd sort of, so that way you guys can take it and make adjustments to it and it'd be pretty easy. But Acerola, I just like it in here. I felt like it was just kind of, it just kind of matched. Then we have Skyla. This is really nice in here too because you can of course search out for rare candy and stuff like that. Just really anything that you might need throughout the matchup. We actually run 3 Choice Band in here. This was a card I was very iffy on because of the fact that I was hitting bench Pokemon. Then I started playing around with Choice Band and I realized that I really liked it because of this GX attack that does 180 damage, and you can actually throw a Choice Band on there and make it 210. And with Zoroark rising popularity, that just really seemed to make sense. I was running into a lot of Zoroark and I was just able to one-shot it pretty easily. We have 4 Ultra Ball, pretty self-explanatory while that's in here. We have a switch. I was just kind of getting in positions where like I was having something stuck in the active spot, even though I had Guzma and Acerola, so I just decided to add in the switch. We already went over the rare candy. We have 2 Field Blower just to discard some stuff. We have 1 Rescue Stretcher, and then we have 4 DCE along with 8 Grass Energy. And the strategy of this deck is very simple. I mean, you just set up Venusaur, and then you start throwing some energy on Alolan Exeggutor, and then you can pretty much just sit there and start picking stuff off. It's actually pretty nice. That's another reason why the Guzma is such a nice card in here, because you can hit something for 120 and then bring it up. So that's really nice too. But I mean, this deck actually, like, believe it or not, is really cool. I mean, just because of the fact that, like, you get to play a couple OG Pokemon, and I really like Bulbasaur, I really like Ivysaur, I really like Venusaur. Those are like some of the coolest Pokemon in my opinion, even though they kind of get bashed here and there on people who are all fanboying over Charizard and Blastoise. I still think those Pokemon are really cool. But you just kind of get to mess around with some OG Pokemon. And I know that Alolan Exeggutor isn't exactly OG, but it's still an OG Pokemon. But you know, just kind of some new cards, something to mess around with, and you just start picking some stuff off. You got things in here to devolve, and the deck pretty much just kind of like runs itself. It just, you have to really decide where you want to place the damage and how you want to play out the matchup. And the way you play this deck is really different for a lot of different matchups that you have, and I think that's the fun in this deck, is you just play it so differently every single time. But yeah, I wanted to bring back a deck profile because it has been a while since I've done one of these. I've been really focusing on gaming videos. Even those don't, you know, do very well on my channel, I've still been having fun making those. But yeah, I mean, this deck is just, it's a fun deck, and I'm going to be having some more of those coming up on my channel soon, along with some new decks featuring some of the new GX Pokemon. I'm pretty excited about that. So if you guys are not subscribed, make sure to subscribe to my channel. This deck was extremely straightforward. That's why I really couldn't go too much into detail on like what it does, because literally you give things head and knock them out. That's pretty much what you do. But anyway, guys, hope you did enjoy the video. If you do, make sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe. If you're not subscribed, guys, take care. I love you, and this is Epic Pokemon TCG signing out.